Hey YouTube, I'm back with another deck profile. Today I'm going to be doing a deck profile on the updated Lured Shadow Paladin. This is a Ritual Shadow Paladin deck, so said I was going to build it because I've already had the two trial decks for a while now. And then I pulled all the Lures that I needed to make the deck actually semi-decent, so I just needed to get a couple other stuff. I pulled more Fessa, but I needed a few more, so I had to get those. So now the deck is pretty much done, so let's get right into it. So, Ritual Luard, or Ritual Shadows, or whatever people are calling them, GB, or it's not even GB, it's like Shadow Paladin 4.5.0, whatever. Cleric Sword was the GB2 one. So anyway, Draghard Lured, 4 copies of him. He's easy to get. You just get 2 trial decks, you're good to go. You might get lucky and pull the sign one like I did. So he's pretty good. He's unique in that he adds the ability to essentially stride for free when you have Ritual 3 ability. Ritual 3, for those who don't know, it means that you have 3 grade 1s. It must be grade 1, not grade 1 or lower or higher or whatever. It must be grade 1 in the drop zone. So they're playing on the way of Shadow Paladin, Spirit calling grade 1s. So 4 of him. The back of grade 3 is kind of open right now. A lot of people are kind of trying different things. I've seen people running that one guy that has a rearguard effect that he can retire something in the opponent's column and stuff. So that one, I'm running Ildona because he's new. He came out in set 9. He basically is your like your ritual searcher. So he's like, if you ride him as Vanguard, you can almost soul blast, want to check top 5, search for a ritual, reveal it, add it to your hand. So pretty good with the new Perfect Guard and stuff like that. He does have a Vanguard Ritual 3 effect, but typically you want to ride Lured so the deck has maximum consistency, but Ildona's kind of in here as a placeholder for later. Moving on to grade 2s. Grade 2s, I am running 4 Drag Wizard Morfessa. So this card right now is ridiculously overpriced. It probably will stay pretty high. It's Shadow Paladin. Shadow Paladin's a popular clan. This, along with Lured, the Stride unit is kind of like ridiculously pricey right now. But I understand why. It's because if you have GB1, when this is in the drop zone, it's a grade 1. So it helps rapidly speed up the ability of Ritual 3. And also it has a Ritual 3 effect, which is also GB1 restricted. When it attacks the Vanguard to end a battle, it gets 5,000 power, so it becomes 14,000. And it also has the ability, the red skill of when its attack hits, you may pay the cost if you do search for up to 1 grade 1 card from your deck called R. So basically, it does so many different things. That's the reason why it is really expensive right now. Bushiroad was stupid and had to print it as a triple R, and that's probably the main issue with the supply of this card versus the demand. But anyway, as time goes by, I expect it to kind of like stable out around like $13 or something for a while. Once like people kind of forget about Lured for a while, like you'll see a bunch of raging forms and stuff running around, and then whatever. They'll release some new stuff later. So yeah, for Morfessa, it's just good. Next, I'm running 3 Direct Alner. I see a lot of people not running this at all. I'm not sure why, because I like this card because it's a drop and draw card. It's not GB restricted. Basically, when you call to R, if the number of rearguards is more or equal to the opponent, you can discard 1 card to draw 1 card. So it digs through the deck. You can potentially drop a grade 1 to set up for Ritual 3, or like if you're really like later in the middle of the game, you can use her to get Ritual 3, like if you have only 2 grade 1s. So I like this card a lot, so that's why I'm running 3 copies of it, because it's not GB restricted. It's a pretty good early game card to set up the drop zone and stuff like that. Next, I am running 2 Drag Wizard Leofail. Basically, these are both trial deck cards along with lures, so yeah, to build the deck, you kind of just need like 2 trial decks and somehow find as many Morfessas as you can manage to get, whether it's trading, buying them, or whatever. Or gain them through pulls, booster packs, kind of like how I did. So 2 of this guy, and then 2 Assistant Alner. I forgot to explain what this guy does. Basically, he's a trial deck card. So He has a main phase, once per turn, GB1 skill, which you can Soul Blast 1 and retire the unit that's in the same column as him. So basically his booster, and then you draw a card. And then he has Ritual 3, which is when he attacks a Vanguard, he's an 11k attacker. So kind of like Morfessa. If you can't afford Morfessa or you just don't have Morfessa, it's perfectly fine to run 4 of him, and 4 of her, and 3 of this, because that's actually what I was doing before I got these 3 Morfessas. I had to actually source 3 Morfessas locally, so that's how I managed to get them by some people that gave them to me. Otherwise, I was running the 1 Morfessa, 4 of her, 3 of this, and like 3 of that. So, or maybe it was 3, 3, 1, 4, some combo like that. But anyway, the grade 2 line, it's still like pretty flexible. It's not like you have to run Morfessa. This Morfessa just makes the deck a lot more consistent. But yeah, this card's pretty nice though, and I actually really like this card because Ritual 3, it becomes a permanent 10k. And he's still a 10k on the opponent's turn, but it's also a superior interceptor. So that's really nice. It's a superior interceptor that can late game be a 10k, and 10ks are pretty hard to remove from the field because a 9k in front of her can't just straight up attack her. So I like this card a lot. I was actually thinking of possibly like dropping him completely and running like 3 of her and 4 of this. Or maybe dropping this to like 2 and running a 3rd copy of her. So let me know in the comments how you guys would do the grade 2 lineup with the objective of running all 4 of these cards. Like how would you do the ratio? Would you do like 2, 2, 3, or whatever? I'm just curious to know. And give your explanation why you think that's a better distribution than mine. Anyway, moving on to grade 1s. 4. Dragsaver Esrus. She is also pretty pricey, but unlike Morfessa, she's like $10 cheaper than Morfessa right now because she is a double R. That's why I feel like Morfessa should have been a double R. This being a triple R is kind of retarded. But anyway, so yeah, Esrus, she's just the best, most ideal Sentinel for the deck because she does have the Ritual 3 skill, so she's searchable by Eldona if you have to ride this guy. So nothing much more to say, but if you don't have her, it's fine. You can run the Unflipped Perfect Guard, or you can run the Trial Deck one. I mean, just run 4 Perfect Guards. Next, 4 Abyssal Owl. So I pulled 3. I had to find the 4th one, again, locally, and then someone was like, yeah, I got an extra here. So they gave me this guy. But I will say that 3 of them is perfectly fine. Like, I was running the deck for like a week with just 3 of them, and 1 Morfessa, and just the Trial Deck Grade 2s, and just the Trial Deck, the Demon World Castle, like, Sentinels and stuff. And the deck ran fine. Like, I was taking on Kagero and all this other stuff, so it's not that troublesome if you only have 3 or whatever, but yeah, 4 of them just because I want the 7k. I didn't want to have to run a 6k. I was running a 6k from the Trial Deck. So yeah, 4 Abyssal Owl. He is basically, he's not stride fodder, but he's kind of like what sets up your drop zone for Ritual 3, and does get you allured. So yeah, he helps get consistency so you ride lured, or just search him for stride fodder and all kinds of stuff. So really good, and he does have the countercharge Ritual 3 ability. Next, I'm running another Trial Deck card. It's 4 Drag Wizard Knees. So she's pretty good. She has the same skill as this dude. The only difference is, whereas he Soul Blasts, she Counter Blasts. And that's, I don't know, that's kind of why I haven't completely cut him from the deck. He's also a pretty good 11k beater in late game, at least with Ritual 3. So, yeah. But she is a 9k. If you have Ritual 3, she's a 9k when you call her from the deck, which happens quite often, actually. So I'm running the max copies of her. And then next, I am running my 2 Swordbreakers that were originally in my Phantom Blaster Abyss deck. Then I moved them over to my Claret Sword deck. And now I finally moved them over to this deck. So before I was running the Trial Deck 6k that when it's called, you give another unit 2k power. Then I realized, you know what, I've got sword breakers, and I've seen a couple people running these. So I was like, you know what, and I've actually seen the dude who uses the deck in the show use these. So I was like, you know what, sorry Cleric Sword, but yeah, Lure needs to borrow these. So yeah, that's the grade 1 lineup. For the trigger lineup, this is what I call my special trigger lineup, because I find this is to be pretty good, at least for this deck. So I'm running 3 Howl, the reprint from the trial deck. So 3 draws, because it's Shadow Paladin, you retire a lot, so you kind of want to like replenish your hand. Then here's where it gets really interesting. So I'm running 3 stands, Knight of Iron Cluster. He is a stand trigger with the Ritual 3 ability that he came out in set 9. I'm trying him out. So far, I really kind of like this dude. I may drop him to 2 so I can run a 4th draw or another critical. But let me know what you guys think of my 3-3-6. So I'm running 3 draws, 3 stands, 6 criticals. So I'm running my trial deck crit and my BTO 9 one. So it's pretty easy to build this deck. And then of course the heals from the trial deck. So 3-3-6 is what I went with. I still want to tilt my criticals to be the most, so I won't really build a deck with less than 6 criticals. But because the deck has access to Diablo, I feel like 6 criticals is fine. And then I am trying Commanding Knight Nessa. She is the starter from set 9. She's not the trial deck starter. I was trying this trial deck starter. I saw this card. I was like, you know what? This card feels like it has potential because it stays on the field. And her being in the drop zone doesn't really do anything because she's not a grade 1. So yeah, I was like, look, just keep her behind the Vanguard the whole game. And just build columns and retire grade 1s or whatever. So anyway, that's the main deck. For the Stride deck, I'm running my 3 Lures that I pulled. If you have 4, run 4. It doesn't hurt to run 4. But it doesn't really hurt to have 3 either, because like Shadow Paladins have so much good options open to them that like 3 is perfectly fine. I literally pulled all 3 of those out of boxes, so I didn't have to like find any of these. Running my 1 trial deck, Carnivore Dragon. He's a pretty good first stride for this deck. I am running 1 Distress Dragon. If I was running 4 Lures, I'd probably take this out. I don't know. It's up to you. If you don't want to run this at all, you can run like another G Guardian or a 4th Lured. Don't really matter. I mean, there's lots of choices. My 2 Aura Geysers for the Aura Geyser Stride play, because it's still relatively good. Advantage. My 4 Diablos, because I only got 3 Lures, so we're going to run 4 Diablos. They annoy the opponent so much. They hate seeing a 36k with critical. That's just literally a counterblast 1. Then my Restand, Spectre Blaster Diablo. And then of course same setup that my Raging Form Dragon deck runs. So I'm running 2 of the new guy, 1 of the old one, and then the Desmal. So that's basically it. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think of the Ritual Shadow Paladins. Do you think they're gonna replace the Revengers, Dethroned Revengers? Because I'm pretty sure Raging Form Dragon is gonna try to like sustain his spot or sustain the Revenger legacy and keep Revengers kind of like as the top tier of the Shadow Paladins. Let me know what you guys think. Over time, you think Revengers will hold out and be the dominant Shadow Paladin deck, or do you think that Lure will eventually overpower him? So anyway guys, looking forward to the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks.